The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Now, the author of The Path of Least Resistance and The Tech Insider, David White.
And welcome all to a wonderful show here. It is August 28th. Pretty much done with summer. We should be seeing a lot more volume pick up, but of course we are going into that big weekend, and it's not uncommon to see a lot of change in character of the markets. But maybe we got all the volume yesterday because we sure aren't getting it today. And well, let's see what we have here. Just look at we're up a 9.4 on the S&P cash, 1639.89. That means we're back above the 1636 low that we saw last week. But no volume, 1.8 billion shares. We are going to start fund buying tomorrow. Could they make this market go sideways till maybe Tuesday? The answer is yes, but I expect they're going to try to hang this thing up and sell as much stock as they can to funds who have to be 100% invested by the normally by the second day of the month. And of course, we've gone through this many times, but in the charter, the fund has to be 100% invested. If you are a money manager, you buy funds and you hedge those positions, so you have to assume that they're 100% invested. So the funds have to buy, the money managers don't, or they can hedge their positions, and a lot of times they do. So it may seem kind of funny that we always go up the last couple of days of the month, but there is an organic reason for it. Somehow I would think that there should be a random day that they do this. But of course, the Wall Street loves pushing markets up and down. No better way than doing it than forcing everybody, a la the saps, to have to buy at the end of the month when they can run the price up fairly decently a lot of times, but not a lot of takers here so far. If we get a close below 1636, I would suspect that we will be selling off all the way until Friday's close. Again, not a lot of volume on this pop-up, and probably 1636 is probably the magic number on whether or not they're going to even be able to get to hold through the rest of the week. Of course, next week I'm pretty sure we're closed on Monday, and we will have that long weekend everybody's looking for. So, I'm going to have to check that. I thought it was Monday, so it should be. Maybe somebody in the den can say, okay. We've got a phone call already. Well, it got very fast. I didn't even get to Martin Luther King yet. But Janice in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, is up first, so we're going to go right to her. How are you doing today, Janice?
Good. How you doing, David?
Pretty good. You're edging out Martin Luther King here, but I'll get back to you.
I just have a quick question. I have Cirrus Logic long, and I kind of got it on the bounce, and I was wondering if it's time to sell this now. You got pretty much everything that you should have. What price are you in? I'm sorry?
What price did you buy it at?
I bought it at 20.
Okay. And what were you thinking, and what was your plan when you got into the trade?
I basically got in for kind of a bounce there, and but I do see that there is a high volume sell bar.
Yep.
There at about, I think it's 523.
Yeah.
You
got everything out of this trade that there is to me had. The opportunity would be that maybe it tests 2348.
Mm-hmm.
But you're against 25 million shares. You got less than 5 million now.
Right.
Boy, I'd just be counting my lucky stars that it didn't blow up in my face.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I think it's better to be lucky than good. And to me, that doji that we saw 2 days ago, right at the gap where it went into it,
right,
would have been the signal, I would say, to short sell this thing.
Okay.
So I haven't looked at the short interest on this. Maybe it's enough that we're getting the squeeze out today.
Right.
But I mean, if you would have bought this thing and ridden it all the way up, I can't see how you would do anything else than sell it. Is there any news on this stock today?
I haven't really. I don't think so. Yeah. Well, actually, I'm clicking right now. I don't think it's specific.
It looks to me like somebody upgraded this thing to run some shorts out.
Yeah.
Zacks investment running the last of the shorts out. Probably because that 2 days ago that was probably the perfect day to go short, and probably going to run some weak hands out here. Maybe a lot of the people shorted. It's hard to tell. But, it looks to me like just a standard upgrade, and they're going to run whatever shorts they can out here. But, I think you've gotten everything out of it. When did you buy it? Yesterday?
Actually, no. It was a couple of days ago, I think I bought. I've had this for a while. It's just been bouncing back and forth.
Yeah.
So I held it to a down, and then I saw it go up, and I thought this is an opportunity to get out now.
It's everything you got. I'd ring the register and go buy a new dress or something.
Well, thank you so much, David.
You bet.
Okay, have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
And we were going to get back to Martin Luther King here. Let me get back. He gave on this date the I Have a Dream, and it was I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Unfortunately, it just seems like in America we're doing just the opposite. It's all about color. It's all about division. And I can only think what he would think of if he was still alive today of what he had started. It seems like so many people, like Moses, never get to see what they did, but also as they go out and they get lost out in the desert, somehow everybody just gets lost on their way. And maybe we are just lost on our way here, but I would hope that that we get rid of race as a issue in every single conversations about politics. And I know he would probably cry at the unemployment rate for young black males, a huge correlation with them going to jail because, of course, all they're doing is sitting around. And just as a society, we see this all over the world where people act incredibly nuts, and the hip-hop culture and the gang and the thugs probably not doing it any good. Maybe he'd be here to set them straight. And, of course, you get somebody really decent like who's the comedian? Bill Cosby. And, of course, he's suddenly attacked when he says, why don't we just use a little self-control and responsibility for our own lives, and you get attacked. And, of course, that's just the opposite. Should be the content of their character, and it just seems like we've wandered so far away from that. And doesn't matter what your skin color is, but we'll think about him again probably every day. And, of course, there's a new statue in the mall in Washington, D.C. George Soros is in the spotlight. Days after the hedge fund mogul wrote the regulators and complained about alleged insider trading violations by George Soros' family fund regarding its trading in Herbalife, the SEC did take action. Of course, George Soros has already been convicted in France of insider trading. He's probably not out and out a criminal, but he certainly walks up to the line and leans over many times in what he's done. I don't know, if you got that much money, if you really need to lean over the line, But if you get the SEC on your rear end, there's probably more than a little smoke. There's probably some fire. Because they won't spend a day or two on something unless they have a real smoking gun. So there may be something in what he did and Herbalife, which is HLF, by the way. We'll look at that when we come back from the break. But don't be surprised to start seeing that. The SEC is also talking with the Federal Trade Commission about putting some regulations on these multi-level marketing schemes. So the tide might be turning for Herbalife, albeit probably not over a day or a week. But these multi-level marketing plans may have seen their day now that the sunlight is put upon them. The end of the refi. Mortgage applications decreased 2.5% from 1 week earlier, according to the data from the Mortgage Bankers Association. And the weekly mortgage application survey for the week ending August 23rd. And when you really dig through the numbers, what you really find out is once the interest rates started going up, everybody started running away on refi or tried to get them in at the last minute. So probably not a big change in mortgage applications so much as just the people refining their houses probably going away with the higher interest rates now. Microsoft is going to have their media day. That's going to be on the 19th of September. But since 1985, their investor days have always included reporters, but not this time. And everybody's kind of scratching their head. I think I know a reason why. A pesky reporter might ask a question, and probably the CEO probably didn't want to answer it, and that is, how many of the Surface RTs do you have left over? Microsoft is already planning on giving a lot of them away, and has written off a great deal of them. It's going to give them away to schools and try to take the write-off on them. But the question is, how many do they have left, and how many just parts do they have that they've never bought or made into a finished component? But people are starting to scratch their heads already and wonder why the sudden resignation of Steve Ballmer, and then seeing this probably makes everybody thinking that there might be some potholes in the future of Microsoft over the next few weeks and months. And interestingly enough, for music people, we really like music here at TFNN, Sirius XM Radio is getting sued for allegedly refusing to pay for recordings made prior to 1972. We'll be back in a minute and finish this story up and get into some charts. Give me a call, 877-927-6648.
Andy Hecht, the host of the Commodities Hour, recently launched his newsletter service, the Technomental Commodity Report, and only 6 weeks in, Andy has already recorded a triple-digit winner. Andy advised his subscribers to purchase a long-term call option at 46 cents on July 11th, and then sent out a special update Friday, August 16th, advising his subscribers to close that position at $1.40. That's a 204% profit in just 5 weeks. The Technomental Commodity Report by Andy Hecht is released each Thursday morning, and right now you can get a month-long free trial to this subscription while locking in the low introductory rate of only $39 a month. Andy Hecht has been a commodities trader for over 3 decades. Let his experience work for you. Sign up for your month-long free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report today at TFNN.com.
with the launch of Tiger TV. TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, David White, Larry Pesavento, Andy Hecht, Victor Jones, or Terrell Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. TFNN has just announced our first ever virtual trading competition, and we're giving away $10,000 in cash prizes, and it's free to enter. Sign up by Thursday, September 5th at noon Eastern, and the trading competition will take place the following week, Monday, September 9th, with first place winning $3,000. Don't delay, as you won't be able to register once the competition begins. Sign up now and reserve your spot in TFNN's $10,000 virtual trading competition. To sign up and for all the details, log on to TFNN.com. McEwen Mining is a high-growth, mid-tier producer in the Americas with a market capitalization of $1 billion. Experienced mining executive Rob McEwen, as chairman, CEO, and president, owns 25% of the outstanding shares of McEwen Mining and has put in place an ambitious business plan with the goal of qualifying for inclusion in the S&P 500 by 2015. With $70 million in cash and liquid assets as of the end of 2012 and completely debt-free, McEwen Mining is poised for growth. Production in 2013 is forecasted to grow at 24%, reaching 130,000 gold equivalent ounces, and over the next 3 years, McEwen Mining projects that their production will increase to 290,000 gold equivalent ounces, almost a threefold increase from last year's totals. If you'd like to find out more about McEwen Mining, click on their banner on the front page of TFNN.com or check them out on the NYSE or TSX under the symbol MUX.
Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And as we come back, we were talking about Sirius XM radio being sued for allegedly refusing to pay for recordings made prior to 1972. I think that's actually 1973 or 4. The reason I know that probably is the case is that the laws and copyright laws and playback laws changed right about then. There were a lot of things that used to happen. They used to have album nights. And there was a digital act where you couldn't play any more than 3 songs of the same artist within the same hour. I was putting my cassette, reel to reel, turning on at midnight because there was a local radio station playing the entire album back to back. You could just record it out and listen to at my leisure. But one of the reasons I really knew and liked it was that there was, I think the first big Pink Floyd album came in at that time, and they were one of the last bands to have a huge album, but also be able to reclaim the rights for publishing and their albums many years later. I think it was like 10 years, so 1983 they got the rights back. Of course, Dark Side of the Moon, one of the best-selling albums of all time. But what I guess I was recording something else at the time. I think I had a reel-to-reel tape deck. Maybe that's what I had. I turn it on at night, go to bed, and get up in the morning, be able to listen to it the next day and find out albums I wanted to get. But I think that's probably in the 1973, maybe 1974, when those laws changed. The reason I'm bringing that up is Pandora and some of the other companies that have not made peace with these older records could end up in a lot of hot water. Copyright infringement for things like music is well set, and the fines on it also are pretty much set in stone. If they were to actually win any of these would be huge lawsuits against companies like Cirrus. But I'm also thinking of companies like Pandora that haven't made peace also. Funny enough, Spotify just got the entire Pink Floyd catalog about 10 days ago, so I'm adding a lot of those to my 1,000 songs that are better than any disco song ever written. But it's hard for me to see how any of these companies in streaming music are ever going to make any money. And it continues to be a legal bugaboo, and also it just doesn't make any sense for the artists. There are some artists that have had 1 million plays on companies like Pandora and received $40 for 1 million plays of their song. It just doesn't seem like it's probably worth it for them to get into the recording business at all, if that's all they can reap. Of course, the real money for them these days is live performances and what they call merch or merchandise, selling those T-shirts and big foam fingers and all the other stuff that they sell at those, and very, very high prices, ticket prices for concerts. I don't think if I remember when I was 18, if someone would have told me it was $80 to go see somebody, I would have freaked. I think I paid like $35 to go to a concert that had Fleetwood Mac and I don't know, about 4 or 5 other big groups for an entire day. I think it was from 2 o'clock in the afternoon to 10 o'clock. But we'll have to see. But yeah, all these, including Disco Steve's Groove Shark, or whoever's manning the board in the studio today, all probably are facing the same issue, which is when they get into legal scrapes with these folks, the law is fairly settled after 40 years. There's not going to be a lot of surprises. Either they played the song or they didn't, and they may be giving all the profits, if any, since most of these places are claiming to all be running at a loss. But we saw Pandora not long ago pretty much disappoint the market, and just a sector that it's hard to see how they will ever make any money. Anyway, we're going to be going to break here in just a second. You can always give me a call at 877-927-6648. S&P was fading a little bit as we go into the break. We're up 7.5 points on the S&P cash. Again, volume just barely moving along, and 1.9 billion shares on the consolidated tape. So we will catch you in just a few on the other side of this commercial time out. Be back in just a second.
With the stock market flirting with all-time highs and volatility back, now is the perfect time for a 2-week free trial to Market Insights. On Monday, June 24th, Tom O'Brien closed out all 5 open positions in his daily newsletter, Market Insights, with all trades being profitable and ranging from a 2.23% gain all the way to more than an 11% gain in just one position for an incredible 32.7% profit combined between the 5 trades. Let Tom O'Brien's years of market experience work for you. If you'd like to see for yourself what kind of trading newsletter Tom O'Brien delivers to his clients each morning, then now is a perfect time to sign up for a 2-week free trial to his daily newsletter, Market Insights. In a volatile market like we currently have, the potential for fast market moves like we've seen recently is a trader's dream. So don't wait any longer. Sign up for your 2-week free trial to Market Insights today at the front page of TFNN.com.
No matter where you listen to TFNN programming, we want you to know you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones and iPads, located at the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a mobile connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all of our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and radio call and talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors.
Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's Nadex.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Harmony Gold. For more information, just click the Harmony Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
I want to thank Danny in the Den. He just pointed out that the natural gas futures are halted. If people aren't paying attention. Pretty interesting. We do have natural gas up a little bit up here at 1880 for the actual UNG contract. I think most people are probably looking at UNG or Boyle. We were talking just before the break about Pandora. They pretty much had a sour and down outlook after earnings just a few days ago. This big gap down that we saw on the 23rd came down with 29 million shares. Volume's kind of coming off of that now, but there's a nice gap here just under the $17 mark, a gap up, or actually a gap down on June 3rd, and then we gap back over that same price range on the 25th. So look for that to probably be the support in Pandora. But it's just until I see these guys actually figure out a way to make money. It's kind of like Facebook. If you can't find out a way to make money before you go public, there's really something wrong. And I'd say 1 out of 10 companies that can't find out a way to be profitable before their IPO are not profitable after. So I'd always, Danny says disregard expired contracts. So I'll have to watch out for that. But not a whole lot else happening. We are kind of seeing a little bit of pullback from the highs of day out here. Let's go back and check a look. Yeah, still up just about 7 points. Again, that 1636 is probably a significant intraday number, and whether or not they're going to be able to hold this market up through fund buying. And again, of course, there's got to be some fund buying through the end of this week. The big problem is you actually someone's asking me something in the den, but just trying to actually get to it and figure out what's going on. But we'll think about it. Anyway, company, be interesting. Anyway, we've been talking on this show, and everybody keeps on saying how BlackBerry's going to come back from the dead, that everything is going to be fine with them. They've got all these patents worth a lot of money, and we pretty much discounted all of that. If you want a counterpart to somebody that's dying, like BlackBerry, if you ever heard of a Xiaomi phone, I think it's Xiaomi or Xiaomi. It is a Chinese company. They didn't sell its first smartphone until the summer of 2011. Now, just 2 years later on, it's easily going to sell about 15 million phones. That's several million more than BlackBerry will this year, and has recently completed a round of funding that has spiked its valuation. And look for this company to be public within the next year on the Chinese market with an ADR in the U.S. markets. But if you're looking for an up-and-comer, Xiaomi is a company. They're really in bed with China Mobile. What is it? It's China Mobile, which has about 65% of the business in China. Apple keeps on saying they've got a big deal coming up with them, but nothing signed so far. And I think it's going to be very hard for Apple to sign a contract with them. The Chinese almost ask for the crown jewels of every company before they let them really sell their product in the United States or in China. Of course, no big deal about building it there. They're more than willing, but a lot of the intellectual property, source code, they will not allow the Chinese to look at. And, of course, Chinese don't like it. And, of course, now they're saying that the NSA probably put software in there to crack it. So we'll be looking at what Apple's new PR is going to be all about. Can you look at Baidu? Yes, we can look at Baidu. And we'll take a quick look. A lot of these companies have been running Baidu in this space in China for a while, but it had come back up and hit this long-term gap. That gap was a gap down, and that happened on, April 23rd of 2012. This thing came down with 6.8 million shares. So that was what you're looking at. It actually got into it 4.7 million shares on August the 14th. Tried to get back up through that with 2.8 million shares on the 22nd. And this thing's just kind of hanging out. To really go short, probably not a big deal. But the one thing you would probably say out here is this thing wants to come back and at least touch this gap, which is about 125. And if it comes down with lighter volume, you might have a trading range between 125, 120, and 143. But looks to me like a lot of these stocks that have hit their highs have hit them on lighter volume, haven't rolled over. We're up on lightish volume today. But I don't know if there's really a play in this thing until you get back to about 125 or 120. There is a double gap at that 120 level, and your best risk reward would be long, probably at 120 if it comes back on a lighter volume. Right now, it's just banging away at a high volume high in that 140, 145 range, and maybe it hops at one day, but the only safe play is probably down at that 120 level. So what else do we have going on today? Was that the end of the news? I think it was. Let's me see what else I have out here. Yep, that was the end of news. But we'll go ahead and start looking at some of the stocks that have piqued my interest in my scans overnight. And a few of them that would probably be interesting. Wanted to take a look at Walmart. This is at least hitting a significant moves down. Walmart, of course, had hit a high on April 15th of 8.5 million shares at 79.28. It went through there, closed above it on May 15th, but didn't have the same volume. Short about 500,000 shares, 8 million shares. Gap down the day after that, setting up a 12 million share gap down. Tried to get back into that gap once again on August 5th. And if you're watching on Tiger TV, the energy from June 24th up to that August 5th high is actually already stronger and below that now. But you're probably looking at testing the $72 range on March 18th of 2013. It had 17 million shares. I suspect we're probably going to tag that in the next couple of days. And if you tag it on a lighter volume, you're probably setting up also a trading range on it between $72 and $74.40, which is the last gap down that happened on 13 million shares on the 15th. So kind of interesting. I've been in Walmart a few times over the last 4 or 5 days. Been doing a lot of shopping, actually. Just built a brand new computer for trading and doing my webcasts here at home. And basically learning a lot, bouncing in out of music stores, out of Staples, Office Depot, Best Buy. And this is a good time, normally kind of slow, but a good time to look and see what is moving. And as far as Best Buy, the only thing they're selling I could see in the store both Monday and on Sunday was cell phones. The rest of the market had some people in it, but the only lines in it were lining up to buy cell phones. Okay, what else do we have out here? RVLT, which is Nexus Lighting. And when we look at this one, certainly it is a dollar stock. This thing does have a high volume high, which is one of the reasons I've been keeping an eye on it. RVLT is a symbol on it. Wanted to see this thing break through the May 8th low of $2.95 on 1.9 million shares. You also have a high at 250 on 4.9 million shares. So we're probably getting awful close to finding a fairly decent support area, but not too many stocks out here where you can just go to the last major high and find a 100% return on your money. And some of the time these dollar stocks are just that. Of course, the Russell 2000, a lot of these smaller companies just taking an absolute beating. But this is not a bad setup, and if you're looking at the Power Law Vector Indicator numbers, this long pullback, although it was big, still is not anywhere close to the energy on the way up here. So I'm going to keep RVLT on my radar. We're going to go to Dave in Boston, but I'm told Dave's not there. How you doing, Dave?
Hello?
Yep.
Dave's not there. Very good.
Okay. I got you.
Hey, you mentioned reel-to-reel. I used to have a nice TIAC back in the 70s. Boy, I remember that was the way to go for sound quality back then. That's all you really had.
It certainly did. My dad had a big reel-to-reel, and I don't know why he had it, but I'd turn it on at midnight. And I can't remember when they changed it, but there was a law that came through that you couldn't play more than 3 songs in 1 hour from the same artist, so that they would quit playing these albums at midnight, and people like me just recording them. But if I wanted to go find out if I wanted to buy the vinyl, it was nice to be able to listen to the entire album, find out what was on it. What would you like?
I think it was the mid-70s that was. Because I remember that. I'm in that age. I'm in the age bracket, but I remember back in the 70s there was all kinds of restrictions going on regarding that. But hey, GDX, Dave. Even with gold up at the highs, we're getting a disparaging. GDX seems to be selling off, and yesterday had quite the reversal candle. I wonder your take. Where do you think it could pull back to?
Well, we've got a nice little Gartley pattern that's set up in some of these. I think it was gold. Let's take a look at that real quick. Hang on just a second. Let me get it set up. Are you watching on Tiger TV?
No, as a matter of fact, yes, I am. I'm sorry,
Okay.
I am. Yeah, it was down earlier. It's up now.
Yeah, well, anyway, it didn't do, the exact projection, but fairly interesting that came up on my Gartley scan last night. So I'm starting to look at some of these in that GDX sector, and I think we were looking at, what is it, DGJX or something?
Yeah, the JDXJ, the junior miners.
Yeah, GDXJ. All these look like they're probably... Hey! Hang on just a second. I'm going to have to... okay. Stop it. Boy. Having a puppy. I probably need to put them out. Probably need to put them out, but then they just bark in the other room.
Sure.
So we will take care of them by the old tried and true method, which is throwing something at them, and changing their state for a minute. Anyway, I was looking at this yesterday, and it's not a Gartley, but it is right up into that gap. And we saw the same thing in gold. These things are coming right up to confluence levels, and a lot of these. Let's take a look at these retracements. This thing was, and here's a good example of confluence levels that are big and muddy. This thing had a confluence. Hey, stop it! Had a confluence level of 46.59 to 51.80. So you get $3 or $4 in there. It gets real muddy. You get a lot of resistance in there, but normally it doesn't stop the stock. So I wouldn't be shorting these, but most of these do have, even this one, if it wouldn't have had a big bounce on July 1st, would probably be setting up that same kind of Gartley pattern. So, as far as I'm concerned, I think we've probably gotten everything, including the kitchen sink with this run in gold, and we're probably looking at some kind of consolidation. I would say probably back down to 13.35, probably on gold itself after it turns around. But almost all these look kind of similar, and that is that everybody and their dog has gotten in them, and it's going to take a little bit to come back and get some of these back out. Let me hang on just a second. I wanted to go back to the GDX out here.
It had a big reversal candle yesterday, and today it's fading once again.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if the move in the miners is foreshadowing a little pullback in gold.
I think it is. I think you've gotten probably a little bit too much too fast.
Yeah.
And you're going to need some consolidation. But that's pretty familiar with gold. It just depends on
where would you target a reentry on the GDX, looking at from your viewpoint?
$27.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was looking at.
There's that nice little gap there. It's about, I bet that's if I look at it, I bet that's the 50% retracement. Yep. You also have a nice little confluence level set up down there. We're going to break. You want to hang on?
Sure.
Okay. We'll be back in just a minute, but you've got a gap there. You also have the bottom of a very thin confluence range. We'll talk about that when we come back.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pezzavento's trading newsletter.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the Forex market, and more. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 full weeks. That's an $85 value. Yours free when you register right now.
Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind.
And get the edge you've been looking for.
On Wednesday, August 14th and Thursday, August 15th, Tom O'Brien advised his Gold Report subscribers to close out 6 of their 9 open positions, all winning trades ranging from a 10.6% profit to an incredible 48% profit in just one equity. And all 6 of those winning trades had been initiated no earlier than just the previous month. With the 600th weekly Gold Report issue fast approaching, Tom O'Brien brings an incredible wealth of knowledge and experience to the gold market and the equities within the industry. That's almost 12 years since this powerful newsletter first began, and right now you can get a 30-day free trial to the Gold Report by visiting TFNN.com. Make sure you're a subscriber, as this volatile gold market provides trading opportunities after declining all the way from $1,900 to under $1,200 an ounce in only 2 years. Get your 30-day free trial to the Gold Report today by visiting TFNN.com. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
What's the one thing that pulls people back from the breakthrough that they're moving towards? What's the only thing that really stops people from taking action? You and I both know the answer, and sure, we can come up with the reasons why we're not where we want to be, but the only reason that we don't do more with our life is fear. Or if you're an overachiever, call it stress. Simply put, there's something that happened to us in our past that's holding us back from the life we deserve, yet you and I are okay, we're here. So why should we let our past control our future? Exactly. We shouldn't. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes with TFNN.com, and when it comes to your trading and investing, I can help you overcome your fear of loss. Together, we'll turn weakness into strength with a system I've developed called Mastering Probability. I'll teach you how to make your money work harder for you than you do for it. I'll teach you the tools that provide financial freedom. Go to the homepage of TFNN.com, click on my name, Steve Rhodes, and begin your journey of mastering probability risk-free. It's time to become a pioneer of your future versus a prisoner of your past.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
And as we come back, we were talking about the gold miners with Dave in Boston. You've got this huge gap down on the GDX, and of course that's what we hit yesterday, saying pretty much turned right around on it, but it had a huge gap down on the 15th of April with 74 million shares. You got into that with 63 million shares, so not that light, but if it was 40 million shares, then I would probably say you could set up for a test of the low once again, but I don't know. To me, it looks like you probably are looking for some kind of 50% retracement out here. You also have a confluence level that comes in. Let me back that up so everybody can see it just a little bit. Confluence level that comes in at the bottom of it's 26. What is it? 26.74. And that's almost exactly where the bottom of this gap is. So my guess is that most of these are probably going to come right back into that gap area on the pullback, which is going to be 26.74, as close as you can get to that. It might be as high as 27.86 though. So you're looking about $1 range in that 26.74. So you're looking a signal right in that range, but because of that gaps in there, I expect you could get $27 on it.
Yeah, I'll just keep tabs on the volume profile as it gets in there, Dave, and If you pull back on lighter volume, wait for the bounce, and then go long.
That gap actually was on 49 million shares, so I don't think it's going to be that tough to come back into that level on a lighter volume.
Yeah, that's true.
So, you had a good sign of strength off the bottom. Even if you get just a 50% retrace, that's 2762. And you're right back into that gap, which, gold, especially the gold contract, they like to push that thing intraday right through a lot of the margin requirements for gold to push the weak hands out.
Yeah.
When I was trading it a lot, probably from 2004 to 2007, I remember it was about $32. $32 move was 100% loss on margin, almost for 2 years. And guess how much it moved every day? About $32.
Wow.
It may be $16 in the morning down, and it would be $16 more bucks up in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Or it would be $16 up in the afternoon or in the morning, and down 16 by the close, going to 100% loss for anybody that got in at the beginning of the day. But I think a lot of it just had to do with that. It was very easy to run everybody in and out of the margin requirement on a daily basis, and that still kind of goes on. To a lesser extent, but of course the margins are much higher these days than they were then. So then margin was, I forget what it was, like $1,500 or something. It was nothing.
Yeah.
So
hey, I know there's no way of knowing, but you think this will pull back there fairly quickly, or is it going to be is it going to chop around?
I think a lot of it has to do with that first Fed meeting.
Yeah.
I think you're probably going to find that this thing hits that low around the Fed meeting, and because they're probably going to continue their kind of bearish look. It doesn't seem like, at least from what I read, their tapering talk is going to continue. It's probably going to be a lot of talk, but I think that's going to get you back there. And then, probably going to be, well, we can't taper, and then this thing is going to take off. But you've got probably an ABC setting up. You got the high at 31.35. You come back to $27. That's 4.35. So if you get into that and double it, you're talking about the next move up to $35.
35 sounds like a plan.
Yep. So ABC right now up to $35 on the next pullback. Thanks for the call, Dave.
I appreciate it.
See you tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time. Dave's not there.
Recently, Basil Chapman has had some outstanding trades in his newsletter, The Opening Call. Each morning by 9 a.m., Basil uploads his newsletter to the TFNN servers so that his subscribers can access his expert trading advice. Basil gives his take on the direction of key indices and updates any active trades that his subscribers are currently in. Just recently, Basil subscribers closed out a short position in Chipotle Mexican Grill, CMG, for more than an $86 profit per share, over a 20% gain in just one position. If you'd like to try out Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, then visit the front page of TFNN.com and click Trading Newsletters. There you'll find Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, where you can request a free sample copy. Also, don't miss Basil's program, The Tiger Technicians Hour, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, on TFNN.